Here he is, folks, Mr. Tiago Avila of Brazil, the head of the Gaza Sumud Flotilla, brought into custody in Israel. And we're going to find a couple very nasty things about this seemingly innocent head of a seemingly humanitarian cause of helping the poor people of Gaza. Mr. Tiago Avila. And if you want to know a few things about Greta Thunberg's buddy and perhaps even lover, you may have heard about the sexual misconduct that took place on the boat. Yeah, they found a bunch of drugs and used condoms on the boat. All right. This is who Tiago Avila is. First of all, at the funeral of Mr. Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah.
Yeah, that Israel would start.
At the funeral of Hassan Nasrallah, who is of course a wanted terrorist by the United States, by Europe, and by Israel. And here he is chanting the slogan of the Houthis of Yemen, the other proxy of Iran. All right, Allah is the greatest, death to America, death to Israel. Noble cause, isn't it? Very noble. And as I said earlier, there are all these allegations now of how these people who for the third time in his case have tried to breach Israeli territorial waters, all right, how terribly they were treated by the oppressive Israeli authorities. Here's Greta Thunberg claiming such, and in the background you can see them doing cartwheels and enjoying their time in Israeli custody.
The other day, Israel illegally intercepted over 20 boats, civilian ships of the global Sumud Flotilla, and violently abducted almost 200 of the participants over 1,000
Look at the violent abduction. Look at the violent abduction. Oh my goodness.
kilometers away from Gaza. The majority of these were released and dropped off in Crete after many had been so beaten up that they had to be admitted to hospital following a coordination between the Israeli and Greek government. 2 of these still remain detained and were illegally brought to Israel, where it has been confirmed that they are now being tortured.
No, they have not been tortured. And as I said, Mr. Avila liked to come in like, his hands are behind his back, like he's in handcuffs. And if you see in the video, he opens the door with his hand. He wasn't even handcuffed as he was walking around, all right? And it's not the first time you guys have been in Israel in custody from your stupid flotilla. And last time nothing happened to you either. I recall, Greta, you had your stupid frog hat and they gave you a sandwich, if I recall correctly.
And these people are safe. A Swedish and Spanish citizen with Palestinian papers, and Tiago, a Brazilian citizen. They are being detained based on made-up accusations following their commitment to Palestinian liberation.
Commitment to Palestinian liberation, folks. Like this.
They have devoted their lives to stand and act in solidarity with Palestine and oppressed people. And they are committed friends, comrades, fathers and sons, and we demand their immediate release.
Committed comrades, fathers and sons, folks.
They are being detained based on made-up accusations following their commitment to Palestinian liberation.
Commitment to Palestinian liberation, folks. Like this.
The Swedish, the Spanish, and the Brazilian governments have to act immediately. The international community has to demand their freedom and justice. And alongside this, several of our Tunisian comrades from the global Sumud Flotilla are also being imprisoned following their activism in solidarity with Palestine in the global Sumud Flotilla. Free them all.
And here they are talking about abductions. We all know that every single one of these depraved activists didn't use the word abduction or kidnapping when they kidnapped all of those people in Israel. That was resistance, right? That's how these people talk. A reminder that Mr. Avila actually left his child behind so he can go on this stupid flotilla, where apparently he enjoyed himself quite a bit and likes hugs.
And now, just as another Sumud flotilla has set sail, a far more embarrassing story has surfaced from activists themselves about what apparently went on aboard last year's boats. According to posts by the Heart of Palestine admin team, a member of the flotilla's steering committee, its highest governing body, engaged in sexual relations with multiple activists while on the boat heading toward Gaza. 3 different volunteers were reportedly involved. The posts also claim that despite being notified, the flotilla's leadership failed to remove the individual, launch an investigation, or even acknowledge the accusations publicly, despite knowing about the allegations for months. Now, obviously, there's nothing inherently wrong with consenting adults having sex. That is not the issue. The issue is what this scandal reveals. Because for all the moral grandstanding, for all the slogans, for all the media coverage treating this as some serious humanitarian mission, these allegations suggest that for at least some of the people involved, including within its so-called leadership, this was not a serious relief effort at all. It was an opportunity for indulgence, marketed to the world as heroism. And that is the part the media should be forced to reckon with. For weeks, major outlets treated the flotilla with total seriousness. They repeated its claims. They amplified its self-mythology. They framed it as a noble humanitarian mission. But this latest scandal confirms what was already obvious. This was never a disciplined aid convoy. So as the newest flotilla once again sails off in search of cameras, headlines, and glory, remember this. The selfie yacht was never really about Gaza, and the media should have never pretended that it was.
But okay, this is always a bunch of Europeans, playing activists in things which they don't really understand. It's all about them. I've always said this. If you look at the college students in the United States who go and take up this issue, it's about them. All right? They want to feel good about themselves. If this was such a grave matter, they wouldn't have found all these used condoms and drugs on the boat. All right? They wouldn't be doing this. Okay, so this is all a farce, always been a farce, these flotillas. The people there, they support Hamas, support Hezbollah. A lot of them don't even know what they're supporting. It's like the 3rd time for some of these people trying to break into Israel. And yeah, this is the result. The result is that you get taken into custody. And in the case of Mr. Tiago, who obviously has ties to Hezbollah and the Houthis, groups who say death to the Jews, death to Israel, association with a terror group, while illegally entering Israel, maybe he's about to find out that there are consequences to his actions. All right? Consequences, okay? The same dude who left his wife and kid behind so he can fuck around on the boat and fuck around with Israel, and now he's finding out. And that's a good thing.